Holly, I'm doing good. How are you, Holly? S. Drift. What's going on, guys? Welcome to the stream. We are back at it with some more debates tonight. I'm guessing if you're coming in here this early, you know how it goes. So, if you are one of the first 100 and now 200 people in here, tap, tap, tap away on your phone screen. That's the only way we're going to get more people in the live. So, I highly recommend if you're excited for some debates, tippity tap, tap away on your phone screen because that's going to get us some debates soon, right? So, it typically takes about 30, 40 seconds, Nick, I appreciate that, heart me. It typically takes about 30, 40 seconds to get our first member of opposition in here. We just started off the stream. But so if you think that abortion is wrong, go ahead and request to join. Let's talk about it. But anyways, I'll say it one last time. Welcome in, everybody. We just started off for the night. If you're excited for some debates, let me know by tapping away on your phone screen. It looks like we already have a few guest requests, so I'm going to go ahead and start letting them up. Please only request if you do think that abortion is wrong. We are just looking for some debates. But let's go ahead and see what this first guest has to say. We're going to go ahead and let them up. All right, unfortunately, they did not load up. That is, that sucks. But, we're going to go and get this first guest up here. Please only request if you are pro-life and you do think that abortion is wrong. And let's get to 50,000 likes. What's going on, Sierra? Do you think that abortion's wrong?
I do, but to an extent. Mine goes all the way past to rape. If you're raped, then it cancels out. It doesn't matter. You are able to do whatever you want because you're put in a situation.
Yeah.
Other than
You
that,
got exceptions for grape, and then everything else you're pro-life.
yeah,
Okay, sounds good. How old are you? I just want to make sure.
21.
Okay, sounds good. Sweet. So why are you pro-life? Why is abortion wrong?
I I will say before I had a kid, I believe that it was okay, and then after having a child, it kind of changes in my personal opinion, changes my
Okay.
opinion on the matter
Oh,
because
okay.
I was
So
put in the situation where I was young. I was with a very bad guy,
okay. Well, I
not a
understand.
good
I don't
situation.
mean to be mean, but like anecdotes are not going to provide any justification for a certain belief. So can you please
No, I'm
articulate
just
to me like why you think abortion's wrong?
because you are killing a innocent kid, innocent baby, just because it either isn't right for the time, it's not
Okay.
in your plan at the time,
So
or
here's what I got. Here's what I got. So abortion can be seen as the medical procedure that like unalives a fetus. So I just asked you why it's wrong, and what you said is it's wrong because it's unaliving a fetus, right? So you're saying unaliving a
a
fetus
baby.
is wrong because it's unaliving a fetus. But so see, this is
Because
circular logic. This doesn't tell me anything.
okay,
Why is it wrong to unalive a fetus?
because it's a living human breathing person, and just because it's not outside of the womb doesn't mean it doesn't have rights to live. Just
Okay, and it's
because it can't say I have just because the baby can't come out and be like, "Hey, I want to live," doesn't mean it shouldn't get a right to
okay.
die
So
or
every
live.
every like living human has the right to life.
Hmm.
Okay, where does this right to life come from?
God.
God. Okay, interesting. Right. So, but let's talk about the statement. Every human has this right to life. Right. So, do you think it's going to be wrong to pull the plug on a brain dead individual?
That's actually a really good question. Um, I think,
Yes or no?
yeah, that's a good question. Honestly, no.
Right. But so you just told me that every living human has the right to life, yet you do not think that this brain dead individual, who is biologically alive in the same sense that the fetus is,
Biologically
has the right
alive,
to life.
but when you have no brain activity, all you are is on a machine. You're not living. And the baby's growing. That person's not can't achieve any more goals. It can't do anything else. It
Okay.
has to lay in a hospital bed. A baby, a fetus, a baby in a womb is growing and is nurturing
Right.
and
Got
is
it. So the brain. So like, what determines life in this fetus? Would you say it's a life from the moment of conception?
um no.
When does a fetus become alive?
When you hear the heartbeat.
Really? So you're okay. So you're actually pro-choice. So the heart, so the heartbeat is gonna like occur within like weeks 5 to 8. So you actually are pro-choice. That is
I feel
funny.
like
But like
if
I'm just gonna
if
no, I just need you to listen to me
like
here. I'm just gonna completely discredit that claim because that's untrue. Like 97% of biologists agree that the fetus is alive at the moment of conception. This is something I agree on too. If you think that life starts at the heartbeat, then you're actually not gonna So like that's simply not true because then you
well,
just
why
deem
is the
like what is
heartbeat?
why would
Most
CPR
moms,
exist? Why
well,
wait, why would CPR exist if like life started at the heartbeat, right?
no, that's because the life is ending at because there is no heartbeat.
Okay,
That's why you
right, but
do
like
CPR to
the
give
the,
him a
the
heartbeat.
start okay, so a heartbeat does not declare life, right? So a good
If you
example
have
of
no
this
heartbeat,
is
then you're not alive. That's when you're pronounced dead.
all right, so are bacteria alive?
Yeah, in a way.
Do they have a heartbeat?
That's a whole different organism. That's not a human body.
Yeah. So no, what declares biological life is not a
Like a
heartbeat.
plant,
And not I'm
plants are
just
alive, but they don't
yeah.
have
So
heartbeats.
what I'm like trying to like get across to you is the heartbeat is not what defines biological life, and 97% of biologists agree on this with me. And it's funny that I'm the one saying this because I'm the pro-choice individual. Like I almost just want you to have this misconception that life does begin at the heartbeat because then you are going to be pro-choice in a sense up to a cutoff. So that's
No,
funny. But
because
anyways, I just so here's my point, right? So you
uh
said it's okay to unplug this brain dead individual in the hospital because it doesn't have any brain activity. Why do we value brain activity? Is this because of right? So you value brain activity?
yeah,
Okay. So do you eat hamburgers?
no,
Are you a vegan?
no. I'm just an extremely picky eater.
Do you like chicken?
No,
What kind of meat do you eat?
I don't eat meat.
Okay. So do you think it's wrong to eat a hamburger?
No,
Okay, so you don't think it's wrong to eat a hamburger? It's okay to unalive a cow. Wait, why though? Because you said it's wrong to
because
unalive.
God
No,
has put
listen,
a
no,
natural
listen,
order
Sierra.
in.
Sierra, I need you to listen. You said it's
Okay.
it's wrong to unalive a human if they have brain activity, right? So it's
Mm-hmm.
wrong to unalive something that's living with brain activity.
A human,
And
yeah,
so cows have brain activity. So what's
yeah.
a symmetry breaker?
A cow is an animal, and it was meant. God put the animal on this earth to be eaten because there's a natural order, and there's always something supposed to eat another thing.
Okay,
That's a whole different thing.
so
Babies and
it's
cows
okay to
have
unalive
nothing
them
in
because you eat
common.
them.
Well, cows and babies have nothing in common. Neither does a cow and a brain dead person have
Well,
anything in common.
actually, yes. Cows and babies have a lot of things in common, and this is going to do with like their cognitive state, right? So I think it's going to be okay to unalive a cow, like under a certain worldview. Personally speaking, I'm ethically vegan, but this is going to be okay because they do not possess a higher level of rationale or consciousness to the same degree that we as humans do, or sentience or self-consciousness or other traits of personhood. Therefore, like there could be an argument constructed that it's going to be okay to unalive this cow, right? But see, the thing is that the fetus also does not possess these attributes, and this is why abortion could be justified, right? So, but like
No,
your
not
argument is that
no.
it's wrong to unalive a human because God, and it's okay to unalive a cow because God. So, like, it seems you kind of have me in a tough position here because you're not really giving me anything to work with. You're just kind of appealing to God, right? So that's kind of like the end of
Okay,
your
I'll give
argument.
you some
So I have a
scientific.
question for you. Can you like either like use a non-biblical argument or prove that your God even exists?
Oh, if that's a whole other topic. Oh, that's a whole other thing to get into.
No. If you're gonna
Um,
say that abortion's wrong because God, you can't just presuppose God. You have to
I didn't
also
say just
justify that.
because of God. I believe that I feel that everyone has their own plan that the person that they want to be in a plan for themselves.
A
And
fetus doesn't have a plan.
I
Not
said
to
a person.
mention, not to mention that you said you value brain activity. So is it okay to get an abortion before the fetus has brain activity?
That's a good question. Um, I no because
Okay, well
it's
then this is just gonna be contradictory. You
no.
also
I mean,
said that
yeah. If the
you also
baby
said that
has
life
no
begins at
brain
the heartbeat,
activity,
right?
she's
No,
still
no, no.
like
So
it's still
Sierra,
alive.
is it okay to to get an abortion before the heartbeat
I
starts?
don't. Well, most of the time, if you look at the science facts, most
I'm
women
asking
don't
you a
realize
question.
that
This
they
isn't
have
answering my
that they're
question.
pregnant.
This isn't answering my question. Is it morally okay to get an abortion before the heartbeat?
No, there shouldn't be an abortion. Period.
Wait. Why? Wait, no, because you said the
I believe
heartbeat
that the
defines. Now
heartbeat
listen,
starts.
don't interrupt me. Don't interrupt me. You
Oh,
said that
that's
the
rude. That's
heartbeat.
ugly.
You said that the heartbeat defines the start of the life. So
Yes.
if you get an abortion under your worldview
You're
before it has a
you're
heartbeat,
making it to where
listen,
it
don't
can't
interrupt
become
me,
a
don't
heart.
interrupt me, don't interrupt me, right? So you
That's
said
ugly
that the heart, don't
behavior. That's
interrupt me,
ugly
don't interrupt me,
behavior.
don't interrupt me. You said that the heartbeat, like, it defines the start of life. So under your worldview, if a woman gets an abortion before the heartbeat, this isn't going to be bad because it's not going to be unaliving. Because you can't unalive something that isn't alive.
I feel like you're not letting it grow into the human it's supposed to be if you get an abortion before the heartbeat. But the reason I said that was because most women don't realize they're even pregnant until after
Okay.
the heartbeat.
Okay.
And
So
if you
this
do it
isn't.
before, then you usually would get a plan B if you even think that you're going to get pregnant. Most women don't, because I know personally, I didn't know I was pregnant until 3 months, and
I don't care about your personal experience. We're talking about ethical implications here, right? So you said it's wrong to get an abortion before the heartbeat. So it's wrong to unalive this fetus, even though according to you, it isn't alive, which is just hilarious. So
I
this
don't
is
think
going to
that the
introduce a
baby's
slippery
alive
slope.
before it has a heartbeat. The heartbeat makes it alive. But if you kill the baby before it even has a heartbeat, then you're not letting, that's not the course that it was supposed to take. You're stopping the course that was supposed to happen. An abortion is not a natural thing unless it's a medically invoked thing that you have to do in order to save yourself, and because you're going to die either way. That's the only reason you should get an abortion other than rape. But if the baby doesn't have a heartbeat, then you are stopping it from being able to get one, and you're killing it before it even
Okay.
has a chance to live.
Okay, so it's bad to take away this chance to live, this potential of life, right?
Yeah.
So, do you know that every sperm within a man is like unique in of itself, and every time a man
Yeah.
ejaculates, he ejaculates about 400 trillion
That's why you're
sperm,
not supposed
right?
to, if you
So
look at the
if you
Bible,
now
you're
listen to me,
supposed
listen to me, 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 right? Listen to me, right? So if you're gonna say that it's wrong to take away this potential from life, even if it's not alive because you don't think it is for whatever reason, like the slippery slope of this is gonna be is like, do you think every time a man like ejaculates that he's like committing a mass genocide of 400 trillion potential lives?
No, just because there's a reason that the sperm isn't a baby. There's a reason a man can't have a baby without having an egg to produce a baby.
What must a wait, are babies alive or dead?
Babies?
Yeah.
Like babies?
So it's not actually a baby, it's called a fetus. So actually I have one more question for you. So you said the fetus isn't alive before the heartbeat, right?
Yes.
Is it dead?
I said it's not a fetus at conception.
Wait, no. Is it wait, if it's not alive, it's gotta be dead, right? So is it dead?
No, it hasn't even had a chance to become alive yet. It can't be. It's
Wait.
start.
Wait, this
it's,
doesn't
at
make
that
sense.
point, it's
Wait, no,
cells and
this
it's becoming a baby.
wait, no,
It's
this doesn't make
growing
sense,
into a
right?
baby.
So is like biological matter is either alive or dead, yes?
Say that again. You cut out.
Organic biological matter is either alive or dead, right?
Or I'm sorry. Say that again.
Biological matter has two
Biological-
states, life and death, right?
Okay.
It's either alive or dead, right?
Uh-huh.
Would you say that the fetus is biological matter?
In a way, yeah. If you look at it
So,
scientifically, the
right?
cells are alive.
So you just agreed with me that biological matter is either alive or dead, and the fetus is biological matter. So before the heartbeat, you said
The
it's
cells
not
are
alive.
alive.
So therefore,
It's
is it
not a
dead?
living, breathing thing, but the cells are alive
Wait,
inside the
wait. So now you have to be breathing to be alive?
I said living, breathing. Like in the womb, the baby doesn't breathe. It's just in there. But
The baby does. Yes, the baby does breathe in the womb.
oh, it does.
Yes, it does.
Cool.
It does. Sorry.
I thought it
So
breathes
I'm,
like
I'm,
later.
I'm just I'm just like I'm still like really confused on your position here. I'm still really confused on your position here. So is it dead before it has a heartbeat? Yes or no?
No, the
So then
cells
it's
are
alive.
The cells are, yeah.
So then it's but you just told me that it wasn't alive before the heartbeat.
I said at conception it wasn't alive, and
Well,
before
at
the
conception,
heartbeat, it's not
at
a living
conception,
thing.
is it biological matter at conception?
No, it's
Wait,
not even.
Wait, if it's not biological matter at conception, then what kind of matter is it?
I don't know.
So wait, so would you say that like pregnancy is a biological process?
Yeah, pregnancy is.
So then how could like this biological process not be biological at the moment of conception?
Because it's a conception. It's like,
Wait.
why do you? If a girl
Wait, no,
gets
I'm
something-
asking you a question. You said like it isn't biological matter at the moment of conception, yet you deemed pregnancy or like conception as a biological process. So therefore, it must be biological matter. So, and you already agreed that biological matter is either going to be alive or dead. So at the moment of conception, is it alive or dead?
Well, to be honest, it's not anything yet because that conception.
Wait, no, this would be in
it's
contradiction to what you said
going
earlier.
into an egg, and it's
No,
not.
this is contradicting what you said earlier. You quite literally told me and the other 2,500 people in here that biological matter can only be alive or dead. And at conception, it's biological matter. So which one is it?
And I didn't say it was a biological thing. I said it's becoming one. During conception, it's an egg and a sperm combining, and it's not separately. They're both not anything.
Define biological matter.
Biological matter?
Yeah.
A living thing. Biological matter is like.
Oh wait, so you just defined biological matter as a living thing, and would you say what do you say like before the heartbeat, the fetus is biological matter?
Yes.
So then it's a living thing. Wait, so then it's a wait. So you defined biological matter as a living thing, and then you told me before the heartbeat, it's biological matter. Therefore, it's a living thing, right?
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you a question.
Okay.
Ask him, at what point does he believe that abortion is wrong?
I believe it's wrong in viability. I believe it's wrong in viability. I appreciate you coming up here. I'm going to go and move on to the next guest. Y'all. And make sure we're tapping away on those phone screens if we're excited for some debates or if you're enjoying the content. Let's try to get up to 100K likes, y'all. Also, let's hit that follow button. We're so close to 66,000 likes. All right, let's go and get the next guest up here. Let's go ahead and talk to Danny, folks. Make sure you hop in requests if you do think that abortion is wrong. We're just looking for debates. That was crazy. That was a crazy conversation. Hey, what's going on, man? Do you think that abortion's wrong? Are you pro-life?
Am I pro-life? I'm pro-life, 100%.
All right. Why are you pro-life?
Well, your arguments, first off, like go back to the thing about the cows, okay?
I quite literally haven't given an argument.
Well, okay, let me just tell you, when it came down to your analogy with the cows. Now,
Bro,
cows.
Danny, I literally haven't given an argument. Like,
Okay.
I literally
Well,
haven't given an argument.
Let me go back.
You
to
understand?
your
You understand that, like,
statement.
you're like the second guest on this stream, and I haven't given an argument. So,
Okay.
Danny, what I need to hear from you, so justify like why abortion's wrong.
Why abortion's wrong? Because it's taking a human life.
Okay, why is taking a human life wrong? You just described the procedure. So what you said is like, good job, pal. You described what the procedure is. Now tell me why the procedure is wrong.
Well, because it's not only morally incorrect to take a life, this life that you consider everything living, because like sperm, for instance, even a chicken's egg, when you throw it in a pan, was never going to be a chick without being fertilized by a rooster. So your sperm, it's not life. It might be have living elements to it, but it is not life until it's joined with the egg.
Right. So let's stand track here, Danny. So I'm asking you why like abortion's wrong, Danny. Danny, I'm asking you why abortion's wrong, and then you said because it's morally wrong, right? And then you went on a tangent about like sperm and eggs, and it's not life until it's fertilized. I get you, Danny, but I still need my question answered, Danny.
Right to take a life.
All right, I still need your answer. I still need my answer, like my question answered, right? So I asked you why is abortion wrong, and then you said because it's unaliving a human life. I'm like, good job, pal. You described what abortion is. Tell me why it's not. Now listen, right?
Is stealing wrong to you?
Right, so Danny, I need you to stay on track here. I asked you why abortion. Danny, I need you to stay on track here. I need you to please stay on track.
You to stay on track.
No, Danny, I really need you. I need you to listen to me. I need you to listen to me.
For the same reasons, other crimes.
Danny, I really need you to listen to me, right? I'm gonna give you your time to respond, and I'm not gonna interrupt you. But right now, I'm just making sure that we're staying on track. So I asked you the question, why is abortion wrong, right? And then you said because it's unaliving a human life. I'm like, good job, pal. Like you just described what the procedure does. Now tell me why the procedure's wrong. And then like the only like justification you gave me as to why it's wrong is that it's morally wrong. So Danny, why is it morally wrong?
Chemicals, you can use tools. I didn't talk about procedure. No matter how you do it, if you're taking something, a human life, and ending it, any procedure, it's simply wrong. You don't have the right to take a human life, just like you don't have a right to come and take my car.
Okay, so Danny, it's always wrong to unalive a human life?
We're talking about abortion here.
No,
Like
we're
death
talking. No, we're
penalty,
talking
death
about the
penalty.
principles that are
You can
like.
unalive. You can
Oh wait, why is it
unalive
okay?
someone.
Why
Death
is it wrong
penalty.
in the
You
case
can
of
pull the plug
abortion?
on someone. Sure.
Why
You
is
can
why is it
unalive a
wrong in the
cow.
case of abortion?
What's that?
Why is it wrong in the case of abortion?
Well, because that is an innocent human life.
Okay. So would you say that like a brain dead patient is an innocent human life?
I would tell you a brain dead patient is a suffering human being. And there are cases where
Why are they
suffering
suffering?
has to be ended.
How do you know that they're suffering?
How do you know they're not? They're brain dead. Have you asked one?
Have you asked one of those? You're making the positive claim here. So we're going to like operate off the status claim that we're not going to prescribe certain like notions of characteristics to things unless
So,
like they can be verified. So
do you
you're
know
making the
what
positive
happens?
claim that
Do you
they're
know what
suffering. No,
happens
no,
to the
Danny,
human
I need
body
you to
when it's
listen to me. Don't interrupt
bedridden
me.
for
Don't
months
interrupt
on
me.
end,
Right?
brain
Don't
dead?
interrupt me. Don't
That's
interrupt me.
trust me, it's
Danny,
suffering.
don't interrupt me. Don't interrupt me. Right?
Well,
So
I'm
you're
sorry
don't
to
interrupt me.
like to
Danny, don't
counter.
interrupt me. Don't interrupt me. Don't interrupt me. You're making the positive claim that this brain dead individual is suffering. How do we know that they're suffering?
Because we know what happens to the human body as it deteriorates and gets bed sores and sits first in stagnant for long periods of time, brain dead. There's science backing that up. You should look it up.
Right. But again, like how do we know that they're suffering? Because of like bed sores?
No, overall, what happens to the human body when it is brain dead and it's been sitting for long periods of time?
Okay, yeah, define suffering.
Well, in pain, in agony.
And pain and agony? Yeah, a
Yes.
brain dead person can't feel pain or agony.
Oh, the body still does. Just because the signals don't go from the nervous system to the brain aren't registered does not mean that the body doesn't feel it. I have a friend that's paralyzed. He can put a hot plate on his lap and his legs start freaking out, but he don't feel it.
Right, so that isn't pain or agony.
It is. Just because your brain's not
No,
registering doesn't
no,
mean the
no,
body's
it
not
quite
going through
literally
it.
isn't. That quite literally is not pain or agony by
So
definition.
pain doesn't exist as long as your brain doesn't register. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly.
Okay. Well, science would disagree with that. I mean,
No,
the
so
signal still needs
have you heard of
sent
that?
to
So
the
have you ever
brain,
heard that
just
one
because
condition?
it's not registering it.
Have you ever heard of that condition where like
Have
people
you
don't
ever
feel
realized
pain?
that they've never actually unalived a single brain dead person that was ever in a position to come back and regain that activity? So
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
want them to
So I do
just
understand that,
stay,
right?
you
So
want them
Danny,
to
I
just
need
stay
you to
there in
listen to me here,
perpetuity?
right? Danny, I need
I
you to
don't
listen
agree
to
with
me.
that. I
Danny,
think
I
that
need
that's absolutely cruel.
Danny, I need you to listen to me. I need you to listen to me here, right? So like no, like pain cannot exist if like qualia cannot be like defined by pain, right? So like if someone does not have the experience of pain, then they don't have pain. It's so
Right.
very straightforward. And you said it's okay to like pull the plug on this brain dead individual because they
Mhm.
have pain. But in order to have
No,
pain,
not
you
not
must
just
feel
because they have
pain,
pain,
right?
because
So like that's
they're never going to regain consciousness. They're never going to have
all right.
any quality of life. You can't compare that to
All right, sounds good.
someone in the womb that has a whole life ahead of them. And it's interesting that people like yourself
Okay,
that
so you
have
care about the
actually been
potentiality for
born are
life?
the only ones that argue for abortion.
Okay, so it's okay. So you just made an interesting point there. You said like it's okay to like unalive this brain dead individual because they're never going to like have consciousness ever again. So what you're
That has to
asserting,
be determined
so
first, yes.
so like what you're asserting is that this fetus does not have consciousness, but it will have it. Like it has the potential for these things.
Yeah, because I would say the vast majority of people that are
Okay,
born
sweet.
end up with
Okay,
consciousness.
sweet. So you're
And they
basically
can tell in the
asserting.
womb if the baby's
So
not
Danny,
going to.
what I'm
If the
hearing
baby's
you,
brain dead, they can determine
right?
that, and they actually do abort babies that are brain dead that
Right,
aren't going
sounds
to
good.
regain consciousness.
Right,
So
so like
both
well,
cases, people are
they
being
actually abort a whole lot
unalived.
of babies because elective abortions are legal in some states, right? So what you're saying is like this fetus possesses like the potential, like potentiality for things like consciousness and
Potential,
other
it's almost a
traits.
certainty.
Wait, how's it a certainty?
I said it's almost a certainty
So
that
then
babies
it's
are going to have
potentiality.
consciousness
If
when they're born.
if it's
There's
not
a variety of
certainty, it's
tests that they do on
potentiality.
babies to make
No,
sure they're healthy.
Danny, if it's not certainty, then it's potentiality, right?
Potential. Okay, it's potential.
Okay, right. So it
Potential is
possesses
another
like
word for you
potential.
haven't
So
done anything yet.
right, no. So like possesses like potential consciousness, potential like personhood, potential autonomy, potential desires, right?
Right.
But
It's
does the mother?
potentially going to
So
get
now I have a
teeth
question.
also.
So now I have a question, Danny. Does the
Potentially will
mother?
what?
No, answer my question. Does the mother possess potential or actual desires? Does the mother possess potential or actual personhood? Does the mother possess potential or actual autonomy and rights?
Well, she possesses it just like she
Well,
possesses
she
the
does.
ability to walk. That doesn't
Right.
mean that like
So
we're
like
gonna sit there and say,
the mother
well,
has actual
the baby
consciousness.
may not
So like
have the
Danny,
same.
So what just happened was you just told me that the fetus possesses potential consciousness, sentience, self-consciousness, desires, attitudes, autonomy, and rights, and the mother possesses actual and certain personhood, desires, autonomy, attitudes, rights. Right. So what we see here is I feel it's the most logical conclusion to like give more moral weight to the rights of the mother, right? So basically, we possess like certainhood, like we're certain about the actual rights, personal autonomy, and desires of the mother. We're uncertain about the potential rights, desires, attitudes, and other traits of the fetus. Therefore, it
Then
seems like the
why
most
does she
reasonable
go to
conclusion
jail?
to give
Why does
more
she go
moral
to
weight
jail?
to the
She
rights of the
kills her
mother.
baby when it's 3 weeks old.
What?
Why does she go to jail and she kills the baby at 2, 3 weeks old? What we'll say.
Yeah, because that baby's not going to be committing a rights infringement upon her, and if it is, it's not going to be the gentlest means necessary to end that rights infringement by unaliving the baby. Not to mention that, like, I take like a gentlest means necessary stance, which means like when we see or we have some like justified reason to believe that there could exist consciousness within the baby, just following from empirics,
But she
then
has
that's when it's
rights
going to be
over this
wrong.
baby, right?
So like
And
I
that's
just
in
I
the
know I
womb.
just no
But
I
as
just
soon as
explained
it
it too
exits
perfectly,
as soon as she
right?
exits the womb, say it's 1 second old and she kills it.
Yeah, that's
So
wrong.
when does her rights end?
Wait,
Over,
that's
like
going to
you
be
said,
wrong.
over the baby.
Yeah, so I don't think that she's going to have the right to get an abortion or like to unalive this child at viability, right? So I'll give you my stance
Well,
actually.
viability.
So
So
I'm going to
just
give you my
define
stance.
viability. When
Danny,
is it considered viable in your
yeah,
opinion?
at 22 to 24 weeks, I draw like a little bit of a precautionary stance on this and draw the line at 20 weeks, right? So I'm going to
20
explain to you my
weeks.
stance.
That's
I'm going to
viability to
explain.
you. So
Well,
just
no,
like
22 to 24
one
weeks.
day
No,
prior to that would
Danny,
be
I need you to listen to
viable.
me. I need you to listen to me, Danny.
Well, you're
22, I need you to listen to me.
putting a finite amount of time on this. So is
Yeah,
one day
I
prior
am.
to that 20 weeks, we'll say, is it not viable, but that next day it is?
No, so it generally becomes viable at 22 to 24 weeks, but I draw that precautionary stance to like stay on the safe side to allow those who do not
So
fall
we
directly
know
in
your
line.
stance.
Like
Like,
the
what's your
question,
definition
right?
of
No, Danny, I'm
viability?
gonna tell you my stance. I'm gonna
What's your
tell you
no?
my
What's your
stance.
what's
I'm
your
gonna tell you
definition
my
of
stance. I'm gonna tell
viability?
you my stance,
That's
Danny. I
critical.
need you to stop talking, Danny.
No, I need you
Right?
to answer
I
this
need you
because
to
this is
stop talking,
important
Danny.
because I don't
Right?
think you
I'm
can.
answering by telling you my
This
stance,
is how you
Danny.
get when you
Danny,
can't answer a
I
question.
need you to shut up, Danny.
Define
Danny,
viability.
all right, bro. I'm just
Hey,
gonna put you on the first mute.
define vi-
All right, oh, you want me to define viability? So this is going to be when the fetus has at least a 60% chance of survival outside of the womb, and this is the medical consensus on like when a line should be drawn, right? Or like what could be determined as viability. This is a prescriptive definition set by medical professionals. All right. So, anyways, right? So what's going to be my position? My position on abortion? You could go ahead and unmute, right? So like I think that we possess like certainty about like the autonomy, the rights, the desires, and the attitudes of the mother, like the personhood of the mother, right? And then we possess epistemic uncertainty about like these same traits of the fetus, and therefore like following under like Kantian deontology, it seems like more reasonable to give more weights to the rights of the mother. Like not to mention we're also like in like consideration to a few other attributes as well, right? So like pre-viability, the gentlest means necessary of ending this rights violation that like the fetus is imposing upon the mother's bodily autonomy is unfortunately going to result in the death of the fetus. Right, so it seems as if like this is going to be the most logical conclusion. But now I got a few questions for you, Danny. Don't interrupt me.
Go ahead.
Don't
Go
interrupt
ahead.
me.
Go
Right.
ahead.
I got a few questions for you. So
go.
you think that all human life like possesses this value and this right to life? So
Absolutely.
where does this right to life come from?
The right to life, in my personal opinion, this is just me, unique to me or unique to others that agree with me, is from God. God gives
Okay.
us our rights.
Can
Our rights are all God
can you
given.
prove to us that your God exists?
What's that?
Prove to us that your God exists.
Prove to me he doesn't.
So this didn't answer my question.
Well, I can ask the same question you can. I mean,
No,
you
Danny,
can't
I need
prove
you
he
to answer
doesn't.
my question.
Okay, well, first
I'm so
off,
sorry, Danny. I'm
the
so sorry.
fact
So
we're
I
having
think
this
abortion's
conversation-
actually no, Danny.
Okay,
let me
ask
show
you-
you what you just did.
I
Let me
will
no,
prove-
Danny.
I will
Danny, I'm
prove
gonna
to
do
you
Danny.
just right
I'm
here.
gonna show you what you just did. Yeah.
No,
so
let me-
actually, I think abortion's okay because I think that those fetuses possess the desire to be unalived, to be
Well,
aborted.
you're going
Can you
going
prove
in the
to me
wrong
that that
direction
doesn't
here. So I'll
exist?
prove to you. I'll prove to you he
There you
exists.
go. Sweet. Thanks.
Is murder wrong to you?
Yep.
Yep. Why?
Why? Yeah, because operating under like threshold deontology or like Rossian pluralism, like we have to abide by like a principle of beneficence, and murder is going to violate that principle of beneficence.
So if it didn't, let's just say we lived out in out in the middle of nowhere, no laws, no nothing.
Right.
Would you find it okay just to kill your neighbor?
Oh yeah, no,
If
this
you-
would be
if
in
they pissed you
violation
off,
of the principle of
would you kill them?
beneficence. No, this would still be in violation of like the principle of beneficence following from Rossian pluralism.
So where does that come from though? Like why do we know right from wrong without believing in a God? Like where does that come from? Otherwise, I mean, you would be like, I could just kill my neighbor. That's perfectly fine.
Yeah,
But you
so
have this moral code
this comes
built
from
within you.
threshold
Whether you want to call it
like
that or whatever,
deontology,
it's
like what we
really-
ought to
you have
do.
a moral code that's
Like
already
institution, like no, like
innately
you want to,
inside
and
you.
like if you want to run like an infinite regress, it's going to come from like our intuitions, and then it's going to be justified by this ethical framework.
No,
so
you-
like you just
so
like
are you-
so now
are
you're
you
like
an
trying
atheist?
to like, dude, you understand that you're
are you
trying to
an
have like a
atheist?
debate about ethics with like a philosophy major with
are
an
you an
emphasis on
atheist?
ethics.
Are you an atheist?
I'm agnostic.
Agnostic. Okay. So not knowing one way or another.
So
basically.
prove to me that your God exists. So then also, like, here's the thing, Danny, right? So this idea that, like, morals and, like, right and wrong could only exist if a God exists. Well, this isn't going to prove that your Christian God exists that deems value to human life. Like, right? This could also be used as substantiation for, like, the Islamic religion, like Hinduism, Buddhism, like the Norse gods, the Greek gods, the Aztec gods, the Mayan gods. I appreciate those gifts. And also it could be used to, like, justify the existence of Shmizas, right? And
Whatever
Shmizas
we
says in
wanna
Shmizalation
call it.
6:9 that it's actually like wrong to not get an abortion, right? So basically, like, the argument that you just gave to quote unquote prove the existence of your God, first of all, I shut it down by showing how we could have a moral compass irregardless of a God, and then second of all, this isn't going to be mutually exclusive to your God. This could also justify a God that deemed not having an abortion
It
as
doesn't have
wrong.
to be
So
mutually
now,
exclusive
what I
to
no,
any
it does.
one God. If it's
No,
built
of course it
within,
does,
if it's built
right?
within the people from day one, whether they want to attribute it to whatever God they want to worship, people do know right from wrong in all stages, all civilizations across the world since the beginning of
Right.
time. They've known that certain things
Right.
are wrong.
Right.
Now,
So
that
sounds
comes
good.
from
So that sounds
somewhere
good,
from
Danny.
within. Without a God, that would not even be anywhere within you. You would
Right.
just be
So
like, my neighbor pisses
am
me
I
off,
justified
can
in
kill him,
saying
and that's totally
that, like,
fine.
am I justified in saying that I think Shmizas exists because right and wrong exists, and Shmizas says in Shmizalations that it's like not, it's like abortion's totally fine. Am I therefore
If
justified in
that's
thinking
what
that
you
abortion's fine?
if that's what you want to tie it to, but that doesn't mean
Right.
it's true. Doesn't mean it's
Well,
right.
exactly. I'm asking you, am I justified in
people
finding that to be
people that
right?
have never been
Answer my Danny.
people that
Answer
have
my
never
question.
been introduced to who Jesus is or who God
Danny,
is,
answer my question.
they will
Am I
attribute that to
justified
whatever
in thinking
God
that
the
it's right?
Son God. They'll
Dude,
say
I
that's
need you
where
to,
those
Danny,
morals
I
come
need you to
from.
answer my question. Am I justified in thinking it's right? Yes or no?
In what's right?
Right. So if I think that Shmizas exists, and my justification for Shmizas is that right and wrong exists, and Shmizas says in Shmizalation 6:9 that it's okay to get an abortion, is like, am I therefore justified in thinking that it's okay to get an abortion? Yes or no?
In your
No,
perception of
answer.
it,
No, Danny,
that's
answer
not
me.
yes
Do
no,
you
because that's
think
your
I'm
perception
justified?
of it.
Nope. Do
That's
you
like
think I'm justified, Danny?
someone that
All
thinks
right,
it's
bro.
okay
I'm gonna go ahead and put you on your second mute. It's a yes or no question. Stop rambling, or I'm gonna move on to the next guest. Right? Because we got to stay on track here. We got to stay on track. Do you think I'm justified in, like, saying, like, I think Shmizas exists because my justification for that is right and wrong exists. Shmiza says in Shmizalation 6:9 that, like, abortion's totally fine. Do you think I'm justified in finding abortion to be totally fine? It's a yes or no question.
No, because
No.
you
Okay.
don't also know.
So
You also don't know.
you don't think I'm justified in finding, like abortion to be fine because I have faith in a God, because, and my justification for that God is because right and wrong exists, and then the God says it's fine.
There's
So Danny, I'm gonna
there's a
point
lot
out
of
to you. I know,
people-
don't interrupt me. Don't interrupt me. I'm gonna
Dude.
point out to you. I'm gonna let you talk, but I need you to listen. So this is actually quite literally what you're doing too. You're saying abortion is wrong because you think God exists, and your justification for this is right and wrong exist, and your God says it's wrong.
No, that's
Right?
not.
And
That's
no,
not
you
what
just
I
told
said.
me. No,
That's
okay.
not what
Well,
I
then what
said.
did you
I
say?
didn't. No,
No,
I
you said
first
all
told you
life.
it was
You said
taking
all
a
human
life.
life has value.
No,
You
it was
said
taking a
no,
human
no.
life.
I
And
no,
then
no,
you asked
Danny.
me later, like where I bring that from, and me.
No,
I
not
said,
at all.
unique to me, personal to me, is that God is the one that
Right.
builds that moral code in us. But I initially answered
Right.
your question saying you're taking a human life that you do not have the right to take, whether it's in the womb.
Why
It
don't you
is
have the right to take it?
because it's a human life, just like you can't
Wait,
take
that's
any human
circular.
life.
Wait, why can't you take any human life?
You can't take a human. You just simply cannot. Like
Wait,
it's
no,
not your
this
life
is
to take.
circular. This is circular. You have to justify why.
Same reason why you can't when they're 20. It doesn't matter. It's a
Okay,
human
so
life.
why can't you when you're 20?
Why can't you take a human life when you're 20?
Yeah,
You don't know the answer to that.
I'm asking you for the answer for that.
First off, not only is it morally wrong.
Why is
in
it morally wrong?
In our society, it's wrong. Societal, it's wrong.
Does society deem things as right and wrong?
As a whole, we do, yes.
All right, so then in Germany in the 1930s, when society deemed like being Jewish as being wrong, and Jewish people equal to the dirt on the ground, or like was it really wrong to be Jewish? And were
Yes,
Jewish
that's
people
why
really
we punished them for it. They're not wrong to be Jewish, but I thought you were talking about, was it wrong for them, that society, to be against the Jews? That's what I thought you were getting at. And I was like, we ended up.
Oh
going
my
for that.
God!
And we
Oh
liberated
my
them.
God, dude! You just about. Okay, so what I'm hearing from you is like getting an abortion is wrong in the same sense that unaliving a 20-year-old is wrong, and you told me it's wrong to unalive a 20-year-old because society says it's wrong. Therefore, what is right and wrong is going to be dependent upon what society says.
Not
So,
everything. Not everything.
so
No,
then don't,
not
Danny. So
everything.
then no, no.
Society
So
will
no. Now you're
society will
special. Don't
determine
interrupt me, Danny.
what
All
things
right, bro.
are.
Don't interrupt me. Right? I'm gonna land my plane. Don't interrupt me. Right? So then, right? So this was a logical conclusion that right and wrong is determined by society. So then I asked you a follow-up question. In the German society in 1930, society deemed Jewish people as wrong and bad, and they unalived this, or they unalived them. They deemed the unaliving of Jewish people as good. So if you think abortion's wrong, and like unaliving humans is wrong because society says it's wrong, was that society right in assuming that it was okay to unalive Jewish people? Yes or no?
Society and other societies went over and punished them for what they were doing. So society
Right.
that decision collectively. And when
Right.
we want to say it's wrong, we have to vote, and that's how laws are written. So society is in fact right.
So this is called like an appeal to the
How
popularity.
did
It's a
abortion
logical
become
fallacy.
illegal in the first place? Society voted it.
Right.
So
So Danny, this is called an appeal to popularity. It's a logical fallacy. So what you're saying is what is right and wrong is like dependent upon what the majority thinks, right?
not everything. I'm not saying everything, but there's a lot of things that our society will
So
determine as
give
right
me
or wrong.
one.
And
So
we'll
give me
vote
one
on it
thing
as
that
a-
is
as a
right or
vote.
wrong,
We'll
and
go
that's
to war with
determined
other
by
countries
society.
over this.
So Danny, give me one thing that is right or wrong, and it's determined by society.
How about abortion? It was actually voted on.
Okay. So abortion's wrong because majority of the society thinks it's wrong.
Well, I mean, the majority of society thought it was wrong. They voted it. It was
Right.
banned.
And this
I
is
mean,
what made
what do
this
you
is what
think?
makes it wrong.
Well, have that many people you want to sit there and say that
Okay.
they're all wrong about this? They all agree that it
Okay.
was human life
So
being
so
taken.
basically you are agreeing with
So
me.
you want to
You're
you want
saying
to play
no,
with
no, Danny. I'm
the
asking you specific
minority.
questions. So what you're
50
saying, no, what you're saying is abortion's wrong because majority of people think it's wrong. I have a
There's some
very
sick
simple.
people
I have a
out there
very,
that
I
think
have a
that
very simple question
being
for you,
with kids
Danny.
is right.
I have
Does
a
that mean it's
very,
okay?
I have a very simple question for you, Danny.
There's a
I have a
sick
very
group of
simple
people out
question
there
for
that
you,
wanna
Danny.
wanna
I have a very
legalize
simple question for
minors.
you.
I mean,
I have a
you
very,
want to
I
go
have a
ahead and just
very, I
roll
have a
with that and say
very
it doesn't
simple
mean it's
question. All right,
wrong.
bro. There's your last mute, dude. Very simple question. If majority of society didn't think that abortion was wrong, would abortion still be wrong? Yes or no?
In this case, not only is it morally incorrect, you had the majority of the country vote that it was wrong. So you put those two things together, it actually, I mean, you're talking about minority in this case.
Do you believe in mob mentality? Rule of the mob?
Of course not.
So then why do you believe in the rule of the majority? Or in other words, the rule
Because
of the mob?
voting on things is a civilized way to get things done. The mob mentality
It's a civilized way to get things done, but it's not a civilized way to determine what's right and wrong. So anyway, so why is abortion morally wrong?
Why is it morally wrong? Because it's actually written in any Bible that it is wrong, any
Okay.
Christian Bible. So that's
So
why.
it's morally wrong because it's written in the Christian Bible that it's morally wrong.
Well, you're
So
asking me,
I'm
so
just as likely to believe, Danny, I'm just as likely to believe that something is going to be like objectively right or wrong because it's written in the Bible, as I am to believe that Dr. Seuss's book, Green Eggs and Ham, when he says in it that like eating green eggs and ham is bad, like I'm just as likely to think that abortion's wrong because the Bible says so, as I am to think that like eating green eggs and ham is wrong because Dr. Seuss says so. Right?
But you
Because
have to
they're both written by men. So you're going to have to introduce a symmetry breaker. Listen, you're going to have to introduce the symmetry breaker by like proving or justifying to me that the Christian God even exists. Because the Bible is supposed to be objective command because it is the objective command of the divine creator. So we're not going to presuppose the existence of the divine creator. This is something that you're going to have to prove or justify to like have a confluent argument, right? So can you please prove or justify to me that the Christian God exists?
You know, all I know is this. It takes more faith to believe he doesn't than it does to believe that he does.
Right, so can you please prove or justify to us that he exists?
I'm going to tell you right now. For me to sit on a live with you and prove to you that God exists, and you are a living human being living in a world that literally could not exist any one thing wasn't as perfect as it is. 1 degree closer.
Fine tuning argument.
So I'm-
That's also going to provide justification for Islamic religions, Hindu religions, Buddhist religions, Norse religions, Greek religions, Mayan religions, like Aztec religions, and every single religion that has ever existed. It has used the fine tuning argument to justify the existence of their God, right?
It's a proven fact that you cannot get something out of nothing. So to believe that this world, this universe, and just always existed, just boom, the Big Bang, whatever you want to call it, from nothing into something has never happened in the history of all of science, all of Earth. So to believe that there was no God that created all of this, you have to be dumb enough to believe that something was created from nothing.
Okay, Danny, but like this thought that like something can't be created from nothing, therefore there must be a God, will give like reasonable. Now listen, I just let you talk. This idea that like something can't be created out of nothing, therefore God must exist, is going to be the fundamental justification for quite literally any religion ever. This is Danny, like look, dude, I'm gonna be so for real, dude. Like if we're engaging in a conversation, like we're not supposed to be like over talking each other, right? So we have to keep this kind of confluent here. Like you can't just like over talk me as soon as like I start talking, right? So I'm gonna unmute you, but like you can't over talk me, right? So here's the thing, right? So you're saying that something can't come out of nothing, therefore, oh, he just left. All right, goodbye, Danny. Anyways, yeah, next guess, right? So I'm just going to finish that thought real quick. He said something can't come out of nothing, therefore God must exist. This is going to be the justification for quite literally any religion ever, and this would also justify Shmezianity just as much as Christianity. And under the Bible of Shmezianity, it says that abortion's fine. So, like, right, I'm going to have just as much justification in finding that abortion is okay as he's going to have finding that abortion is wrong, because they're based off of the same logic. So that's fun. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and move on to the next guest, y'all. If y'all are enjoying the debates, tippity tap away on those phone screens. Let's try to get up to 100K likes, y'all. We're going to go ahead and get the next guest in here. Please only request if you are pro-life. We're just looking for some debates, chat. We're just looking for some debates. I appreciate that hand heart, Denise. I appreciate that hand heart. By the way, Linda, thank you so much for the Venmo. I really appreciate that. W. Linda's in the chat. I really appreciate that. All right, next guest is loading in here, chat. Make sure we're tapping away on our phone screens. Heather, for whatever reason, did not want to connect you. Feel free to re-request. We're going to go and get the next guest in here. Jesse, I appreciate that superpower. Thank you so much, man. All right, that guest did not connect. We're going to go and get the next one up in here. Please only request if you are pro-life. All right, let's go and get the next guest up in here. Let's go ahead and see what this individual has to say. Also, y'all, make sure we're tapping away on those phone screens. Let's hit 100K likes. What's going on? Do you think that abortion's wrong? Okay. Guys, please only request if you're up for a debate and you think abortion's wrong. Let's go ahead and move on to the next guest here. I appreciate that, Lightning.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. How old are you?
I am 20, almost 21.
Do you think that abortion's wrong?
I think it's wrong if you are just getting it willy-nilly whenever you want. But
Okay.
I don't think it's wrong if it's a medical thing or if, the baby's going to suffer or whatnot. But I also want to say that you were really, really rude to Danny. Like, you would say, don't interrupt me, but then you'd interrupt him and then mute him when you would start talking over him. Like, it was just really rude, man.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I'm gonna try to do better with you. I'm gonna try to not interrupt you, right? I'm gonna do better. So, can you please justify to me why elective abortions are gonna be wrong?
What do you mean? I honestly just don't think it's good to go willy-nilly about it, but I think that they should be available for anyone
Yeah, right. So why don't you think that's a good thing?
to go about it, because it's not good for your body. It's not good for your own mental health to have to go through that all the time. It's not good on your body, period.
Right.
Like,
So is it going to be like morally impermissible or morally wrong because of the self-perceived notion of not good on your body?
I mean, if you go past a certain point, then it may be not good.
Okay.
I feel like it depends on what you think is right and what you think is not. That depends.
Well, I'm asking you
on
what
each
you think is.
person and each
I'm thinking of
religion.
what you
Like,
think is right
there's
or
so
wrong,
many
right?
factors that could come into that.
There is a lot of factors, but we're talking about you and your factors. So give us an argument as to why abortion is going to be morally
You want
impermissible.
my opinion, like my specific, very individual, unique opinion?
Well, yeah, that's a debate. I'm debating you.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying that that's my personal opinion. If you're going to go willy-nilly about it, that's not good on you, not good for your mental health.
Is
But
it
if you need
immoral?
it, go for it.
Is it immoral?
Why does moral have to go about it? If you're having
Because
to
that's the
save your
question being
life,
asked.
if you need to save your life, then save it.
No. So
But if
elective
you know
abortions.
it's not going to be good for you in the future, then it's not good for
I have a
you.
question,
It
right?
should be up to the person. Am I
So
going to
if
get
a,
an
if a
abortion?
man and if a man and a woman have sex, right? The woman gets pregnant, and then
Yeah.
she goes and gets an abortion. Is this like morally wrong?
I feel like she should have a talk about it with the partner she had it with, but if it was a situation of rape or a situation of a one-night stand, or he ain't gonna do shit, or he's abusive, then go do it. If
Can you
it's
please
not,
answer my question? If a
What
man and a
question?
woman have sex, the woman gets pregnant, and she goes and gets an abortion. Is this morally wrong? Yes or
there's
no?
so many factors into that.
Okay,
It
so
depends on
consider
what
all
they
the
think is
factors and answer
morally
the.
wrong.
No,
I don't think it's
but
morally wrong.
you don't think it's morally wrong.
Depending
So
on their
okay,
factors.
you're pro-choice. Unfortunately, I'm only talking to pro-lifers, but I appreciate you for coming up here. All right, let's go and move on to the next guest chat. Please only request if you do think that abortion is like wrong, morally wrong, if you're pro-life. Let's go and get the next guest up here, chat. Please only request if you are of the age of 18 or above. Celeste, I appreciate that hat and mustache. Thank you so much. Hey, what's going on, Nicole? How old are you? Interesting. All right, moving on to the next guest here, chat. Let's go and get the next individual up here. Please only request if you do think that abortion is going to be like morally impermissible. We're just looking for some debates, y'all. Grimace, I appreciate those roses. Next guest is loading up here. Matt, I appreciate that Venmo. And to answer your question that you put in the Venmo, yes, I would. Emma, I really appreciate that cap. All right, that guest was not loading up here, chat. We're going to go and get the next one. Please only request if you do think that abortion is like morally wrong, if you are pro-life. Hello, Sid. Do you think that abortion's wrong? Oh, okay, y'all. Please only request if you're here to debate. I don't know quite what's going on with the guest requests. Only request if you are here to debate, y'all. We're just looking for some debates, chat. Also, tippity tap away on your phone screen. Let's try to get up to 200K likes. What's going on, Tay? Are you pro-life? Do you think that abortion's wrong?
I think that it's wrong after a certain point.
How old are you?
19.
All right. What's that point?
If the baby has already developed.
What is that? That's so arbitrary. A baby's always developing.
If it's to a certain point where it has a heartbeat and it's technically living,
Okay.
it shouldn't be aborted unless there is something wrong.
Okay, so it's going to be wrong after the heartbeat? Right, Tay?
What?
It's going to be wrong after it has a heartbeat?
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless there is medical reasons behind it.
Sweet,
Or,
sounds good. So do you eat hamburgers?
yeah.
Okay, so you don't think that unaliving a cow is wrong, but a cow has a heartbeat. So why is it wrong to unalive a
cow's an
human if it has a
animal.
heartbeat, but then it's not wrong to unalive a cow if it has a heartbeat?
Because a cow's an animal.
So actually, we're also animals. Point out like the specific attributes
On a
that humans
food
possess.
chain? On a food
So
chain, they're at the bottom.
okay, so if there's like a species that existed above us, then like abortion would be morally permissible.
What?
So if we weren't on the top of the food chain, like there's another species on the earth, like that was higher than us on the food chain, then like abortion would be morally permissible.
There isn't.
What if there was? Would it be morally permissible? Yes or no?
There's no answer to that. There isn't.
Right? It's a hypothetical. It's called the Socratic method. If there was, would it be okay to get an abortion?
No.
Right? So like the place on the food chain doesn't matter at all. So when you said that like it's okay to unalive a cow with a heartbeat, but not a human with a heartbeat because the cow's lower on the food chain, this isn't gonna like this isn't gonna justify why it's wrong if like you still think it's gonna be wrong if we're lower on the food chain.
Yeah,
So
but in
now
the
what I'm gonna
day
ask you to
and age we're
do
living in,
is
the day
now
and
there's
age
gonna
we're
be
living in, we're at the top of the food chain.
right, but you still said it would be wrong even if we weren't. So
But
that's
like,
not gonna be
are
your argument. Now
sharks
take
not are sharks not going to kill other fish because it's morally like
what? Okay, I don't know
like
what you're just
in
saying. I'm just gonna
like on the
unless you want
food
to try to say it
chain,
again.
sharks are above smaller fish. They're
Right.
going to kill them.
Okay.
Like,
So
but
if
at
they're
the same
if they're
time,
gonna
we're at
if,
the top. We're at the top. We kill kills or cows to eat it.
Okay, I'm just gonna ignore that. So you said I'm just gonna ignore that. I'm really just gonna ignore that. Okay, so point out to me the specific differences between a cow and a human. You said it's okay to unalive a human with a heartbeat, but it's not okay to unalive a human with a heartbeat, but it's okay to unalive a cow with a heartbeat. So please point out to me the specific attributes that the humans possess, but the cows do not, that like make it okay to unalive a cow but not a human.
A cow's an animal. It's not a living thing that will get a career in life and live their life. Like a cow's not gonna, even if they do, a cow's not gonna remember. Like, it's an animal.
Okay. I'm just gonna like completely assume that you're saying that the cow does not possess the level of consciousness you and I do. The cow does not possess the level of rationale that you and I do, like sentient self-consciousness, like traits of personhood. Is that what you're talking about?
Huh?
Okay, it is what you're talking about. So, yeah, a fetus doesn't possess those traits either.
But at the same time, it'll live its life if you.
Leave it alone. So it'll potentially live its life. So why do we care about this abstract, like unfathomable notion of like potentiality?
All that's saying was after a certain point of the fetus being inside of someone, like you shouldn't abort it. If it has a heartbeat and it's living and it's a healthy baby that's
Right.
been in someone for 6, 7, 8, or 5, 6, 7 months, you shouldn't abort it unless.
5, 6, 7 months. The fetus develops a heartbeat at like week 5, not month 5.
Okay, but I'm giving you an example of later times that shouldn't, like you shouldn't, if you're past that.
Autumn, I appreciate that hat mustache. So at what month mark should we restrict access to abortions at?
Like 2, 3 months.
Okay, why?
Because at that point, it's getting even more developed than it has been.
I appreciate this, Roses. Yeah. Okay, so it matters because it's more developed than it has been. So at week 1, it's going to be more developed than it has been prior to week 1. At month 1, it's going to be more developed than it has been prior to week 1. Just like at month 2 or 3, it's going to be more developed than it has been prior to month 2 or 3. Okay. Jesse, thank you for the roses. All right, Tay, I appreciate you for coming up. I'm just going to go ahead and move on to the next guest, y'all. Make sure we're tippity-tapping away on those phone screens. Let's try to hit 150,000 likes. Let's go and get the next guest up here, y'all. Please only request if you are pro-life and you do think that abortion's wrong. We're just looking for some debates. Courtney, thank you so much for that rose. The silence was incredibly loud. I also see a lot of comments about my comparison to cows. I mean, if you think that's bad, like, come up, request, and let's talk about it, like, unironically. Like, please request if you think that's just like a terrible analogy that I'm making. Icy Pain, I appreciate that, Rose. Hey, what's going on, Kate? Thank you for that little crown, Tommy. Do you think that abortion's wrong? Are you pro-life?
Okay, so, by the way, this is going to sound a little confusing, but this is her husband actually talking right now, so it's not a girl that you're talking to, by the way, obviously.
Okay. Are you pro-life?
Yeah, pro-life.
Okay, why are you pro-life?
I just believe that you're killing.
Okay, Kate,
That's like-
you're lagging, like, really bad. Go ahead and hop back into the requests, but, like, you just kept going, like, in and out of the app, and your voice was lagging. So just, like, re-request, I'll let you back up here. But I try to keep, like, yeah, just re-request. I'll let you back up here. We're gonna go ahead and move on to the next guest. Like, please re-request. You're just, like, lagging really badly. Jesse, I appreciate those roses. Hey, Courtney, do you think that abortion's wrong?
Okay, well, two sides to it. I grew up hella Christian, like,
Please be concise. Do you think
Everything's
abortion's
wrong.
wrong?
Yeah and no. It depends.
Okay, so if a man and a woman engage in the act of intercourse, the woman gets pregnant, then she goes and gets an abortion, is this gonna be wrong?
It depends. Honestly, like,
What does it
it's
depend on?
health, safety.
right? She's
The-
not doing it for medical reason, and she didn't get raped.
If she does it early enough and it's not late term, I guess no.
Okay, what point? Like, at what point is abortion no longer going to be okay?
Um, I got mine at 5 months.
Okay, I appreciate you for coming up, Courtney. I appreciate you for coming up. You're pro-choice, Courtney. You're very pro-choice. Let's go on and get the next guest in here, y'all. Please only request if you are pro-life. We're just looking for some debates.
Yo, Dean, how you doing? How you doing?
Doing good, Billy. Do you think that abortion's wrong?
Under certain circumstances, as you said, with the rape, unless it compromises health and
Right.
it's due to rape, I do believe that it's wrong. Yes.
Okay, why do you think it's wrong?
Well, what's the reasoning to make it right?
This didn't answer my question.
Well, that's what it comes down to. Like if she's aborting the baby to go have more sex just to have more babies, then yeah, that's crazy. You're
Okay,
putting sex
so
before
we're
life.
gonna consider like all actions amoral, meaning that they are not right or they are not wrong. In any time a claim is like posited on if it's right or wrong, that claim must be justified because it's a positive claim. So you're making the positive claim that abortion is wrong. What is your justification for why abortion is wrong?
Because as I said, you shouldn't put like if it's a money situation, that it all depends on the reason why you're getting abortion. If you're just getting abortions to have abortions, like to have fun or something, that's crazy.
Okay, why
There's
is it
got to be
wrong?
a point. There has to be a point. There
Would you
has to be a
say
reason.
Would
There
you
has
say
to
that
be
a
a
justified
reason.
reason to get an abortion? Would you say that a justified reason to get an abortion is that a woman does not want to go through the pain or trauma of carrying a child and giving birth?
Yes, she should not have had unprotected sex then if that was the case.
Okay, so why shouldn't she have? Why is this action wrong?
Because it could lead to a baby, something that she does not want. But then she went against her temptation and she did it anyways, knowing the consequences.
Okay, and why is that wrong?
Because you kill a child at the end of the day.
Okay, and why is unaliving that fetus wrong?
It's wrong if you're doing it for
No, I didn't
like
ask like when it could. Well, I didn't ask when it's wrong. I asked why it's wrong.
well, in the conversation before, it's wrong because if you're putting your body and your looks before a baby, like it's as simple as that. It's like,
Okay,
yeah,
and why is it wrong to put your own body before the baby's body?
because you created that baby. The actions you took created that baby. You have to take responsibility for what you do. You can't
Okay,
just have sex and then like erase your mistakes. A baby, you know what I'm saying?
okay, right. So would you what you're like getting at here is that if you engage in a risk, then you must like take the obligation of that risk, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay, sweet. So like I don't think that like you're going to be able to like have an obligation to a risk or to a dependency that you created if that thing that is in a dependency does not have a moral status, right? So like imagine this. I pick up a rock, I like break it in half or like I punch the monitor behind me or like I don't know, I do a lot of these acts on like non-moral agents. Like this isn't going to be wrong because they're non-moral agents. So you have to like prove to me that this fetus is a moral agent,
Because you created it. It came out of it didn't exist. You
right?
did it and then it did exist. It's the same thing.
Right.
Like I can't speak for
So
women, but I can speak for
if I make a
my
house out of popsicle sticks, I create this popsicle stick house and then I fucking stomp on it. Is this gonna be immoral?
no, because that's
Why I
popsicle
created
sticks.
it. Wait, no, it's I created it though. You said it. You said if you create something and then you take it out of existence, that's bad. That's immoral. Well, I
Well,
created
you
this like house out of popsicle sticks and then I stomped on it. So then, therefore, following under the same logic, it must be bad or immoral.
because you're comparing popsicle sticks to life, brother.
All right, and why can't we do that?
Because popsicle sticks, like popsicle sticks are popsicle sticks.
So point
You know
out
what
the
I'm saying?
differences between the popsicle sticks and the
And
fetus.
and there are also two parties. Like, say, for example, you built that popsicle stick house for ants, for
Yo,
some
Billy,
intelligent.
can you please articulate the differences between the popsicle sticks and the fetus?
Yes, the fetus is going to be a human. A popsicle stick house will stay a popsicle stick house.
Right. So the fetus is a human from the moment of conception. It's not gonna be a human. It is.
Okay, all
So
right, that's
is it
that's
so then the logical conclusion of this is that it's wrong to unalive humans?
yes.
Okay. So why is it wrong to unalive humans?
It's wrong to unalive anything. For
Oh,
for the for
are you
the
vegan?
well for
Are
the
you wait, no, one second, Billy. Are you vegan?
no, I am not.
Okay, so then it's not wrong to unalive anything. Therefore, that claim that you just made is false.
Well, I unalive things to consume. There's a purpose. Just like
So
if you're
if a woman gets an
if
abortion and then like consumes the dead fetus body, is it no longer going to be immoral?
no, that's different. That's crazy.
How's it different or crazy? You just said that unaliving anything is wrong unless you consume it. So if this woman gets an abortion and then consumes it, is it no longer wrong? I mean, I'm just following your logic here, Billy.
No, my logic was you shouldn't unalive things just because you want to keep a good body.
Okay.
That's we were going off on tangents, brother. We got to
Okay,
stick to the script over here
why shouldn't you do that?
because you have to take responsibility for your actions. If you
Okay,
decide to have
why
sex,
must you take the responsibility for that action?
because if that wasn't the case, I could just rob anybody for money.
No.
So then, if you're not taking responsibility for your actions, how will there be
So
any
you
compassion in
can't
the world?
rob people because robbing someone commits a rights violation. It's going against someone's desires. What desires are you going against when you get an abortion?
Um, like explain that. Like
So listen,
explain
right?
that.
So is it okay for me to take someone's money if they desire for me to take their money?
No, of course not.
Right? Wait, so if someone like wants me or desires for me to take their money, it's not going to be okay if I take their money?
No, and morally, if you're a better person, if you see yourself better than money, then why would you just take
No,
somebody's
Billy,
money
right?
unless you're selling them a service? And I
Billy.
know it sounds crazy,
Now,
but
dude,
there are
I need you to
people.
answer. So, is it going to be morally wrong? Is it going to be morally wrong for me to take $10 from my mom if my mom wants me to take $10 from her?
No, because there's a good chance
No.
that she wants you to use the $10 for something good
Right.
or
No, she
for
does.
you.
Is it going to be morally wrong for me to take $10 from my mom if she doesn't want me to take $10 from her?
Yes, but Dean, my
Right?
brother, you are
So
comparing.
now what we've like concluded is that this action is wrong if and only if the desire in which the action is going against or like the desires of which the action is going against do not agree with the action. So like taking $10 from someone is only going to be wrong if they do not want to have that $10 taken from them. Like punching someone is going to be wrong only if they desire not to be punched, right? So this is
So
why we see like battery and assault illegal, but MMA is legal because one person wants to be punched, the other doesn't. So my question to you is, does the fetus not want to be unalived?
it doesn't have a choice. You are supposed to make that choice for it by having protected sex. But my brother Dean, there are differences in the comparisons you are making. We got to keep it simple and keep it on
There's
topic.
no logical, so it's a logical analogy, right? We're talking about this using like the Socratic method, right? So I think that abortion is going to be morally permissible because what I think gives value to humans is going to be our traits of personhood, right? So for the same reason that you think it's okay to unalive a cow but not a human, would you say because like the cow does not possess like the same level of consciousness or rationale or sentience or self-consciousness as we as humans do?
No, that's not what I'm saying at all. If it
So then
was
why
up
is it
to
okay to
me,
unalive the cow?
because through society and through the way we are in America, that is one way of living. That's just a
Okay,
way of living
so
that we've
society
been.
deems what's right and wrong?
No, when you
Well,
don't
that's
have
what
a
you just
choice,
said.
when you
No,
don't have
Billy,
a choice, Dean.
Billy, you just said that it's okay to unalive a cow because society says it's okay. And then you said it's
No,
because
not
you don't
because,
have a choice.
not, be-
So wait, do you have a choice if like 45-year-old Nancy in like, California gets knocked up and gets an abortion? Do you have a choice in that?
If say this one more time, if a 46-year-old what?
40
Nazi?
so 45-year-old Nancy in California gets knocked up and gets an abortion. Do you have a choice in that?
Do I have a choice in that? No, I do not.
So then you said that it's okay to eat cows because you don't have a choice if cows are slaughtered, right? So like it's okay to slaughter a cow because you can't control if cows are slaughtered. So then why do you not think that abortion is okay because you can't control, 45-year-old
Well,
Nancy from getting one?
well, let me clear up that cow analogy because you took it to a completely different level.
Now, I need you to
The
tell me,
cow
like, what's a symmetry breaker?
that's what I'm trying to get into. That's what I'm trying to explain, Dean, my brother. So what I'm trying to explain to you is uh cows like say in society to eat healthy, to eat water, to just be a vegetarian, to do all that, it's out of a lot of people's price ranges. You understand?
Okay.
So because of society, you're almost like what's the word? Like I don't want to say groomed, but you're like not forced either. It's just the way it is. That's all you know. That's all you know.
Okay, does that mean if
That's
that's all
why.
you know, is it right? If that's all you know, does that make it right?
Well, if that's all you can do, if that's all you can afford, if it's that or
Right. So if
starve.
you have like reason to eat beef, eating beef is okay. Like for example, like a non-necessary reason, such as the fact that you can't afford anything other than beef.
Um, yeah, yeah, but
Right.
no, it's
So
like I
what
wasn't.
if you can't afford to have a child? Is abortion okay?
It's the same thing. And yes, because abortion is not okay because you chose that. I don't have a
Right.
choice. If I had, like I said, if I
Now
had a
you have a
choice,
choice if you buy beef.
yes, yeah. I mean, if I had the money, like I explained, eating healthy and eating only
Right.
fruits and
So
eating only vegetarian
if you
is
eat
out of my.
beef, right? So if you eat beef for financial reasons, eating beef is okay.
Yeah, yeah. I
So
mean, yes.
if you
You're
get an
doing.
abortion for financial reasons, getting an abortion is okay.
Well, you're not getting abortions to survive, Dean.
Well, you're not
Abortions are
eating
not
beef to
necessary.
survive. Eating beef
Yeah,
isn't necessary for survival.
that's what I'm explaining to you. In society, you only survive through money. You only live. You're only
Right.
permitted to do what you're
So,
allowed to.
Billy, I need you to listen to me. I need you to listen to me. You're saying if you eat beef for financial reasons, eating beef is okay, right?
Yes.
You don't have enough money
W-
to not eat beef, right? So like
Well,
right.
it's
So
either
if you
that
get an
or
abortion for
starve.
financial reasons because you don't have enough money to like support a child, is an abortion okay?
Well, no, because there's other options.
No.
You can you can put it
So
up.
then there's not
You
so
can
then
put
there's
the
other
baby up.
options from beef too, right? There's other options from beef too, right? You could start a
I
I don't
mean,
know, you could start like you could start like a garden. You could go into your neighbor's field and steal some apples. Maybe get a
you
better
you
paying
need
job, go
you
back to
need per,
university, get a degree. So like what I'm pointing out is there's going to be
you,
like no symmetry breakers here between these cases. You're saying that one is justified because of this and the other isn't justified regardless of this. So your argument is going to be irrational and logically contradictory,
well
right? And then
well what
also,
you just
like I don't think that we
explained,
should
but
fix like a dollar amount to like to a living life. If we're like going
yeah.
to presume that like unaliving life is wrong, right? And then it's okay if you don't make enough money. Like I'm not gonna see like the amount of money to justify like this idea. And what I mean by this is because if it were to justify this idea, it would justify a lot of bad things. So,
Well,
imagine this,
brother
right?
Dean.
I'm starving to death, right? And if I go unalive this man, I will get $1 billion. Is it okay to unalive this man if I'm starving to death and unaliving him will give me $1 billion?
Not when there are so many other options. When money's involved, it makes it wrong. But brother
No,
Dean, you
that's the
gotta
only
under.
option. That's the only
All
option for me to get money to live. Is if I
right.
unalive this
Well,
man. Is it justified?
let me go. Let's go back to what was originally said in this
No, answer
debate.
my question, dude.
Well,
Like I'm deconstructing this idea that like the amount of
well,
money you have or
you're
don't have or the financial
you're
incentive for something is not going to have an impact on the morality of the action, right? So
well.
if
You
my only option to
justified.
not like starve and die to have money is going to be by unaliving this man. Is unaliving this man okay? Yes or no?
No, it's not.
So then it seems as if using financial means to justify like an action of unaliving one is not going to be the case. Therefore, your argument why it's okay to eat beef but not get an abortion is going to be unsubstantiated. So I'm going to ask you again, why is it okay to unalive a cow but not okay to unalive a fetus? What I need you to list What I need you to point out is the specific attributes, the specific characteristics that that fetus possesses that that cow does not possess.
The specific characteristics that the fetus is, we created it. You know what I mean? That's it. That's all there is to it.
Okay.
A cow, yes, is a life, and I do believe, like I said, if it was up to me, everybody would eat a healthier lifestyle. Everybody else would be healthier, and we wouldn't eat meat every single day the way America does. There's a lot of things, but
Right.
the way that you justified what I was saying with like stealing an apple from my neighbor's yard,
So
it just don't.
when
It
a
doesn't.
farmer
It doesn't add up,
artificially
Dean. It doesn't add up.
when a farmer like artificially inseminates a female cow, and then that cow gives birth, is a cow that it gives birth to, like, is it going to be wrong if that farmer then slaughters it to sell?
In my personal opinion, that's all wrong. It's all wrong. But that's what I'm telling you is I have no other choice. You know what I'm
Oh, wait.
saying?
So now you've made like a huge concession. You've made a huge concession. You cannot articulate like the notable moral differences why you found it okay to unalive a cow but not okay to unalive a fetus. So now you just say it's wrong. No, Billy, you don't think it's wrong. Why do I know you don't think it's wrong? It's because the conversation that we've been having for like the last 25 minutes, you've been defending that it's not wrong. So now you're just like switching up your own beliefs to not die on this hill, right?
No, sir. Listen to me, dog. You gotta like really comprehend and understand what I'm saying. Okay? If I have a choice, which I've had in the past, but living at home and living the way I do with all the bills, society has narrowed it down to me buying beef, to me buying large amount of meat because it lasts longer and it sustains my family more. You understand? If I had a choice, I would be vegan. It's a lot healthier. Do you understand that?
Is slapping a mosquito off your arm wrong?
No, it's not.
Okay. So point out to me the specific characteristics that the fetus possesses that the mosquito does not possess that makes it wrong to unalive the fetus but not wrong to unalive the mosquito.
Because I didn't decide to have the mosquito bite me. The mosquito did it on its own. I decided to create the fetus by having unprotected sex.
Right. So if you take a cup with a mosquito in it, put it on your arm, have the mosquito bite you, take the cup away and slap it, is that immoral?
That's just stupid.
Is it immoral?
That's just like redundancy. Like you know,
No,
like why?
is it immoral? Billy, is it immoral?
Yeah, it kind of makes you like a psychopath if you lure a mosquito to just like kill it, even though the mosquito is a lesser life.
So,
You don't.
so like when kids would prance around on like the playground in like kindergarten and like step on ants, is that immoral?
Well, no, because the kids will do what they're taught. You have to teach your child that all life has meaning, all life
So
has reason.
if a kid is taught that it's okay to be racist, and then he's racist, was he like not like was that not wrong? Because he was taught that,
Until his mind is
right?
opened up and he talks to
So
certain people and he
if
is allowed to make up his
if a kid
own
is
mind.
taught if a kid is taught that it's okay to take his like to like unalive someone, and then he goes out and unalive someone, that like that's not going to be wrong.
But if you teach him, what I'm saying is, if you teach
Bro,
him
answer
that
my
that's
question.
wrong,
Answer my question.
yes, of course that makes it wrong. Of course that
Okay.
makes it wrong to
Okay,
tell
so then it's
somebody
still
who
gonna be
doesn't
wrong.
know
So
better to do
then answer
something
my
bad.
question. So then answer my question. So you said it's wrong if a kid goes and unalives someone. That's gonna be like morally wrong. So now answer my question. If a kid like or like if I go like if me Dean, if I go and I stomp on an ant, is that gonna be morally wrong?
Say that again, Dean. I'm having a hard time following
Right.
these
I know
comparisons.
I know you're having a hard time following. Just take my words as literal as they can be. If I like
Yep.
if I kill an ant or like
Yes.
swat like a fly in my house with a fly swatter, or if I see a spider on my wall and I hit it, is that wrong?
It's certainly not compassionate. You don't have right to kill anything for no reason. It
Is
just
it
makes it
wrong?
depends what you believe in. You know
What
what I
do you
mean?
believe
Like
in? What do you believe in, Billy? What do you believe in? Is it wrong?
I believe in I believe that the ants, I believe that the spiders, I think everything has, a way of life. If it's not threatening your life, I don't see no reason to kill it. If it's not
I don't,
threatening,
dude. Is it wrong? Yes or no?
yes.
Okay, so right, so there exists. Now we're getting to like the last part of the analogy, and I'm gonna restart my stream after this because you're being so insufferable that like I've lost half my viewers. But I'm gonna finish this with you, right? So right,
I
so
think, brother, I
there
think you
exists.
lost
So there
half
exists.
your
No,
viewers
Billy.
because you're
So Billy, there
comparing
exists.
abortion
Billy.
to
So
bugs.
there exists millions of microbial lives on this arm, on my arm right here. Millions and millions. So I appreciate that hand art of like bacterial life.
Yes.
I just unalived millions of microbial lives. Was that immoral?
No, but that's different from a fetus, brother.
Okay, so right. So this is what I'm trying to get to. We have one type of life that it's not immoral to unalive them, but another type of life where it is immoral to unalive them. This is beautiful. What attributes does the fetus possess that these microbial lives on my arm do not possess? That makes it wrong to unalive the fetus, but
You
not
can't
wrong to
blame
unalive the microbes.
you can't blame the fetus. If two people get together knowing that they can create a fetus, create a baby, and they use unprotected sex, you have to take responsibility. No matter
Okay,
what
why?
analogy you use with
So,
bugs.
okay, why do you have to
You
take
can
responsibility?
because you knew the consequences. You
Okay,
knew
right.
what
So
could
if you engage
happen
in
and
an
you
act,
still did it
if you
anyway
engage in
because
an
you couldn't
act,
fight temptation.
if you engage in an act that carries risk and then that risk comes to fruition, is it immoral? Right? So basically, like what you're saying is they engaged in this act that carried the risk, they knew the consequences, so like they were to blame for the consequences, right? So let's picture this. Like driving is really risky. You could get into a car crash. So if you're driving and you get into a car crash, are you like morally reprehensible for that car crash?
Yes, you should take responsibility for getting behind the wheel, no matter whose fault,
So then why
whatever.
does car insurance exist?
I have no idea. You're asking the wrong person, brother. I'm
No,
a
then why
famous
does
rapper.
why does car insurance exist? So so do you think that car insurance is
Because
bad because those individuals should take responsibility for it?
I think car insurance is a way for money, is a way for people to pay the damages,
I
blah
asked you, do
blah
you think
blah.
that car insurance is bad?
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
are
I
you like
do.
so you think
I
car
definitely
insurance
think
is bad because those individuals should like take responsibility for it?
yes, unless the person's like it's a drinking and driving accident. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, the person who's drinking and driving is a terrible person. They shouldn't. Like I said, the person drinking and driving
Right.
should understand the consequences of crashing into somebody drunk.
Well, they're
It's
not
almost the same thing.
they're not drinking and driving, right? So if an individual just gets into like a freak car accident of chance because they're driving, like they shouldn't be able to like invoke their car insurance, and doing that would be bad because they should be forced to take responsibility for it.
Wait, you're saying you should take responsibility for car
No,
insurance? This
Billy, you said that like individuals should like assume the risk that like if they
yes,
engage in an act that has a risk and then that risk comes to fruition, they must take responsibility for that risk, right?
yes, correct.
Right. So if an individual drives
When it comes
and
up to free
assumes the
will,
risk
though,
of
the free will
if an
act.
individual
Yeah.
drives and assumes the risk of driving and they get into a car accident, like let's even say that they got rear-ended by another driver. That's a risk that you accept by driving. Are they morally reprehensible for that? Is car insurance bad? Because car insurance
Brother,
takes
it's
this like
different though,
responsibility off of them by paying for it, right?
but it's different. You
No,
shouldn't
so how's
take
it different? It's the
responsibility.
same
It is.
principle. No, it's not
It
different. It's
is.
the same
There's
logical
semantics.
principle. Bro, it
There's
is the
semantics here
same
to be
logical
argued.
principle. It is the same logical principle. If you're saying that if you like take an action that carries a risk and the risk comes to fruition, then you are responsible for the risk. If you drive and the risk of getting into a car accident comes to fruition, then you should take responsibility for that risk, right?
David, brother, you're comparing cars to baby fetuses.
No, dude, it's the same logic. It's called the Socratic
It's,
method. It's a
there is
logical
no.
analogy. It's a
I don't
logical
care what they,
analogy.
brother. I don't care what they call it. I don't care what they put a name on it. I don't care about the topic, brother. You You are comparing babies to killing bugs. You are
I'm comparing the logic that you are using to like deem abortion as morally impermissible to another case that would carry the same logic, right? So if like the logic does not hold to be true in like both cases, then the
well
logic
that
is fallacious and
well,
it's contradictory.
brother. That's the beautiful thing about being a human. There are levels to it. There are levels to the logic, I guess you could say. Some levels, like they just require more. For example, a baby fetus that you created is a little bit more uh is a little bit more than bugs and like cars and stuff, and there's all
Right.
levels to it.
So here's my big disagreement, right? So I don't think that that's going to be a big argument about like assuming the responsibility for this because I don't think there's anything to assume the responsibility for, right? So I think that there's specific traits of humanity that gives us our moral consideration. And this would fall down to like traits of personhood. Consciousness, our higher level of rationale, our sentience, our self-consciousness, our ability to make and understand claims, our ability to use language, right? And I think it's clear that these are the traits that give living things value. Because when we look at other forms of life that have less value than we as humans do, the only difference besides the genetic code is their level of rationale, their consciousness, their intellect, their sentience, like their self-consciousness, and these other traits of personhood, right? So this is going
Only,
to have like this is going to be very indicative that is traits of personhood which deem moral value, right?
but
And
Dean,
the
Dean,
thing is
please let
that
me
the
speak
fetus
for
does not
one
have these
second
traits.
about that.
The fetus does
About
not
that.
possess consciousness. The fetus does
Yeah,
not possess intelligence. The fetus does not possess sentience. The fetus does not possess any level of
Dean,
rationale. And therefore,
Dean,
it's
my
going to be
brother.
morally equivalent to that of a fucking mosquito. That's why I was drawing the comparisons. Like,
All
we
right, but
value
Dean,
humans more than, like, cows because humans are smarter than cows. We value, like, cows more than mosquitoes because cows are smarter than mosquitoes.
Dean, my
But
brother,
a
can I just bring
fetus
up this
has a
one thing
zero
real
level
fast?
of
Real fast,
intelligence.
because can I bring up this one thing real fast? Because you keep on bringing up this animal bull crap. The only people who think like that, like, oh, it's okay to kill an animal, are the people that with a lesser intelligence, are the people who are profiting off of it. There is nobody, at least around me, like you had people like hunters who hunt deer and eat them, but they will tell you the respect for the animal and how grateful they are. These companies who are making money and profiting, such as the fetuses, who are profiting off these dead bodies, are telling they're
Bro,
the ones who's putting it
dude,
in your
Billy,
mind that
first
it's
of all, you
okay.
didn't respond to a single thing that I just said. You didn't respond to a single part of my logic about why I just justified abortion as being morally permissible, right? I went into personhood, and then you just ignored it all. You literally
It
didn't respond to a single point.
it's as
Now, Billy,
simple as
I'm gonna
this.
I'm gonna line this plan. No, it's as simple as this, Billy. It's as simple as this. So the microbial life on my arm, like all these little microbes, right? So this isn't gonna be wrong when I do that, right? But now answer me this. If one of those microbes on my arm that I just unalived in this hypothetical gained the same intelligence as you and I, right? It had the same desire to live, the same desires as you and I. It just became this microbial person that can engage in conversation and make and understand moral claims. It had consciousness, self-consciousness, and sentience to the same degree that we do. Would I be justified in unaliving it?
Dean, brother. All right,
Answer
let
my
me.
question, yes or no? No, Billy, yes or no?
To be honest with you, I stopped listening,
All
dog.
right, bro. I'm gonna
Uh,
go ahead and
I,
move on, Billy, bro. Like, if you can't engage with a single thing I say, like, come on, bro. Sabrina, I appreciate those hand hearts. If you can't engage in a single thing I say, if you can't listen to like my response in the slightest, then when I ask you a question, you say you weren't listening, so you're not gonna respond. I hope everyone that's spamming W Billy in the comments just like I don't wow. Sabrina, I appreciate those handouts. Like I gotta wonder if like these people in the comments are even real. Like I gotta wonder if these people in the comments are even real. You know what I mean? I really appreciate those handouts. Thank you so much, Sabrina. Thank you so much. All right, y'all. We're gonna go ahead and hit a quick live restart. I think I talked to Billy for a little bit too long, and it made a lot of individuals like leave because he was just like abysmally insufferable. Thank you so much for the hand art, Sabrina. So I'm gonna go ahead and respond. I'm gonna go ahead and restart my stream. Just go ahead and click on my profile. I also posted a TikTok right before I went live, so maybe like it, drop a comment. But it's gonna take me like 3 seconds. I'm literally gonna end the stream and then automatically restart it. So Sabrina, thank you so much for the hand arts. That's very kind of you. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna be back in literally 2 seconds. Everyone, be there, be square. I love you all. I'll see you in like literally like 2 seconds.